A tower defense game needs a tower you need to defend. Some towers you need to defend the tower, and a few threats you need to defend the tower against. To put my own twist, I decided to add city building to it. So you place towers and expand your kingdom during the day and fight evil monsters of hell during the night. Just like any other logical person, I first added melee combat to my tower defense game. It was very much inspired from Minecraft, where you can block, do a normal attack, and a jump-in attack that deals a little more damage. The player could switch between two states. Human state is where you fight your opponents in melee range, and a god state where you plan your economy and defense from a top-down perspective. You could switch between the god mode and the human mode anytime during the day, but you're locked to the human state in the night. Then I added a wave manager that decides which enemy to spawn during each wave. Not that I had a lot of enemies to begin with, but it was a good investment for the future. This kept me distracted for a while, but I soon remembered I was here to make a tower defense, so I finally focused on that part. The towers were divided into two categories. First are economy buildings, which do the job of making money for the kingdom, and the defense towers defend the kingdom during the night. While placing the economy buildings, you could choose which type of currency you want them to generate. Combat points let you unlock a random combat tower, and economy points let you unlock a random economy building. The economy buildings give you these points every morning, and you can spend these points before starting the next wave. I wanted to playtest as soon and as much as possible, so my first official playtest had Mr. Bean as our only enemy, this single defense tower, and 3 economy buildings. My small but amazing community was very helpful and a bit too straightforward when it came to giving feedback. They liked the strategy part, but the combat felt a bit lackluster. My buddy Q-Hark suggested me to remove the melee part altogether, and it actually improved the flow of the game a lot. If you haven't noticed by now, our tower defense game doesn't actually have a tower we need to defend, and the enemies just kept following the player. So I added this castle in the center, which became the main goal of the enemies. At that time, I wasn't really sure about the game's setting, and we've had a lot of castles in tower defense games already. So we decided to set the game in ancient India. Being from India, I know a lot about its history and tradition, so there was less research needed, and the castle got replaced with a yagya. It is a divine ritual that is performed for various purposes, mainly to get rid of any evil energy surrounding your family, or in our case, your kingdom. And this concept fit the game perfectly. So your kingdom is overrun by the monsters from hell. You perform a yagya which will purify your kingdom of any evil surrounding it, but it'll take many days, and the monsters appear every night to destroy it. So you protect the yagya from these monsters while trying to purify your kingdom. Pretty cool. Also, having 2 currencies felt a bit too much, so I made a lot of changes to the city building part as well. First of all, there's only 1 currency now, and only the defense towers cost money to purchase. The economy buildings were divided into different industries. The player gets to choose these industries at the end of each night. When the player chooses one, they get 5 buildings of that industry, and each economy building can interact with other buildings in some way. If you place a miner's camp near a mine, it makes more money. Well, because it takes less time to travel. But if you place a miner's camp too close to another miner's camp, it will make less money because there are 2 miners mining the same amount of resources. I also added randomly placed environment objects like these trees, which also affect the earnings of buildings, like a boost to the income of the lumberjack, because more trees means more wood to cut. By that time, the city building part felt pretty fun to play. Almost everything interacts with each other in a way or the other. tower. It required some brain power to fully optimize the building placement. So I was very confident and decided it was time for another playtest. Now, surprisingly, the economy part was indeed fun for the 2 players who tested the game, but the combat felt very shallow and boring. It needed a lot more depth. So first of all, we built upon the idea of everything being interactable. I made it so that the economy buildings also affect the defense towers in some way. For example, spears are made of wood, so a wood mill will buff all the spear towers by a small amount, and it stacks. So a lot of wood mills will buff all the spear towers by a large amount. This should encourage the players to have a limited number of industries in the map, as it'll help optimize their build. And with that, we also changed how the players unlock the defense towers. So now when you choose an industry, you unlock a random tower that's related to that industry, which you can then buy and place inside the map. We had a lot of fun writing this train of ideas, which soon hit a dead end. After upgrading the health and damage system to have elemental damage, which consisted of fire that burns the target for a couple of seconds, lightning, which after hitting a target moves to 2 other targets in a close range, and ice, which freezes the target for a couple of seconds, we couldn't decide how to give our towers the ability to do elemental damage. We came up with a few ways. One of them is to have a couple of shrines which the players can unlock just like any other economy building, but instead of giving money, they give you elemental crystals. You can place these crystals on top of towers that will infuse those towers with that element, making the towers deal elemental damage. But we're still not 100% sure if this is the best way to do it, and that's where I need your help. Please let me know if you have any suggestions regarding this problem. I highly appreciate it. Also, if you want to play that demo, you can go over to my Patreon and get it for just $5 a month, along with early access to all my future uploads. And that's all for this video.